What is going on, people, and welcome to the Flagrant Free podcast. It's Brett feeling too good with you tonight, and we have on my right Big Mike. What's going on, brother?
I'm ready to talk straight business, mate.
Let's get to it. No snaz tonight. Man's pulled a sick note. I mean, if it ain't one, it's the other. What can I say?
We'll have all three here consistently one day, but...
One day, yeah. One day you might get back-to-back episodes with the Flagrant Free, but for now, it's 2-3.
Right, well, like the Brooklyn Nets, you never know who's going to be injured next or not available, so...
He's pulled a hammy. Snaz pulled a hammy. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, let's get into their game one with the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going to throw one out there. I thought it was a disappointing first game, and not from Brooklyn side. I think personally from the Milwaukee side. I think we were talking about this earlier down the gym, and I personally believe that, all right, the Nets might have won it, but I think it's more to the fact Bucks lost. Bucks lost the game. They weren't where they needed to be. They weren't clicking on all cylinders, and they were missing shots that in the previous round they were making. You know, they were making. I think they shot 4 for 26 in what before garbage time was the game. 4 for 26 from 3. Yeah. Now you don't hear that from the Bucks. I don't know about you, but I you know, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton didn't make a free. Did not make a free when it counted most. Hardly took many, but didn't make them at the end of the day.
No.
And then, you know, when you're looking at productivity and where you need to be, when you're playing a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who have got an unbelievable output on offense, you need to score the basketball.
You need to score the basketball, yeah. And I was watching it earlier, and I think in the first quarter and halfway through the second quarter, they looked good. They was getting it inside. They was exploiting the fact that there's so much, not so much bigger than the Nets, but they're much better inside in comparison to the Nets' post defense.
Yeah,
and they kind of, like you say, they started to shoot more, and with that come the losses. You can't shoot and win a game against shooters.
Oh yeah, people punish you. They will punish you if they see you're missing your shot. Kyrie, KD will punish you.
KD from mid is just an animal. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. KD from mid, you could have 10 hands in his face. He's still draining. He doesn't need to see the basket. He shot that shot 1,000,001 times. It's going into the bottom of the net.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. For the Bucks to start off the game, getting into the paint, getting to the hoop, getting fouls, and then drifting out, and not so much. I mean, PJ Tucker got into foul trouble. He was playing really good D on KD to start.
Very good D.
Really good D, which is what we spoke about in the last episode and what he brings to the table there.
Yeah.
And hopefully he can keep it up going forward. But
I think that's personally due to the refs as well. When I was watching the game, there were so many light-handed calls being made against the Bucks that will put them into that foul trouble, where as soon as the ball transitions to the other end, there was probably more fouls, you know, taking place but not given in the Nets' favour. And I think that sort of dictated the play. You know, Giannis in the first couple of quarters was doing his best to sort of drive into the post. He was getting buckets. And then in the second half, that really slowed down. And then it's purely just because he was getting fouled but nothing called. He had a couple of offensive fouls called on him as well, which I thought was, you know, not really what you'd call an offensive foul. It's a bit weak on the referee's part. And I really, really hope that the NBA refs do not ruin this matchup in this series.
Yeah,
that's one thing. You've got some of the best NBA players on the floor right now. Going at it in a playoff, let them play, please. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. Just let them play and just see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the series of the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
If this were on the other side of the brackets, could be a finals. Yeah, exactly. And I think that it needs to be under that anticipation that that's going to take place as a finals matchup, and just let it ride out that way, and let them go gritty. You know, gritty basketball is where basketball should be. Let them have a bit more physicality. Let them have to earn buckets and fight for it. And here's what I sort of disagreed with on the Bucks of things and where they got things wrong. Their defensive setup after that, I think they got a little bit shaken. They didn't want to pick up too many fouls, so they're mismatching, and you know, they're trying to spread the floor to keep their best players on the court, and it was getting the wrong matchups all the time. And then Blake Griffin, who we'll come on to it, but he had a fantastic game. But towards the end, or in the third quarter, they were double teaming Blake on the perimeter. Now, on that on that Nets team, I want Blake to hold the ball.
Yeah.
I want him taking shots. You know, if you go and double team Blake, is they going to pass it to a Kyrie or a KD or someone who's got a better scoring potential?
I actually didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's like literally, I think it was Pat Connaughton run over, double teamed him. I'm thinking, what are you doing? And there was a weak double team. He passed into the lane and they got the easy bucket off the back of it.
Yeah, he's the last person on that team that you're going to be double teaming.
Exactly.
Unless maybe he's in the post against a PJ Tucker or something like that.
Or a mismatch size, yeah. If he's got like a Chris Middleton in the post and he's backing him down, maybe. But yeah, if he's on the perimeter like he was, and you're going over to double team Blake Griffin, you need to take a good look at your defensive self and go, why are we doing that? He's having a good game in terms of he was knocking down some shots, but he's not doing this on a consistent basis, and we know that. Yeah. He was just having a game.
He was, exactly. And he looked like Clippers Blake, but it's not going to be a nightly. Well, I don't know. He might prove us wrong, but you wouldn't have thought it's going to be a nightly thing.
Yeah, and to be fair, he did what he needed to do. Harden goes down early. He stepped up. He did the hustle plays. I don't think I've seen Blake Griffin dive on the floor for a loose ball in a long time, and he dove down at least twice. He tied up that ball twice, and I'm thinking, you know what? Fair play to you. Yeah. This is what we want to see.
This is playoff basketball.
This is what we want to see.
Yeah.
So, yes, Blake earned the Nets the win, and he caused an issue for the Milwaukee Bucks that they didn't anticipate, I think. And I think when they saw Harden go out early, they probably thought, oh, we could be in for a shot here, but they didn't take this opportunity.
Yeah.
And they've let Blake and
their playmaker left the floor, and they didn't exploit the fact that all they've got to do is shut down one of the two left. You know, and I thought Chris Middleton would have done a better job on Kyrie, but I mean, Kyrie's probably got the best handles of all time. He had him skating on every possession.
Well, they tried multiple, didn't they? They tried putting Drew Holiday in at one point. And I don't think I've seen Kyrie have those level of handles. And okay, we know he's got handles, but that intensity with the fact is, I want to get to the bucket, you're not going to stop me, since his Cleveland days when he was in the finals. That I've not seen that hunger from him. And it's one of those things where Kyrie, you never know what version of Kyrie you're going to get, who turns up.
Yeah.
But last night's Kyrie is the Kyrie the NBA wants and needs. Yeah, that is.
It's the fun Kyrie. It's the exciting basketball.
It is the exciting basketball, and you get all these sort of like point guards at the moment, like your Stephs and your Trays who are shooting threes. But you want Kyrie, who's going to drive at people and make them look silly. Yeah, it's entertaining basketball. It's not always the most efficient, but it's entertaining, and he's one of the best finishers around the rim.
Yeah, 100%.
All
if
day
not
long.
the best.
Do you think Harden's done for this series?
I was going to ask you, man. I don't know.
Beat you to it.
Yeah. He left the arena straight away to have an MRI, and I haven't seen anything since then. For them to not have maybe they have made an announcement and I've just missed it, but I don't think that's a good thing if they haven't made an announcement yet. They play Monday night, I believe. I can't see him playing. I mean, 46 seconds he was in the game.
45, 46 seconds. Pulled up straight away, and it wasn't an impact foul. It was straight away. He was driving to the basket, dished it off, and he pulled up.
Felt it go. Yeah,
felt it up. No impact to it, and they're the worst ones. They're the ones that you probably look at and go, you know what? Yeah, you're out for this series, if not probably longer.
Yeah,
and he had injuries prior to the playoffs coming in as well, so he's probably had that sitting there for a while. Do you know what I mean? He's not been healthy.
I mean, how many
year.
games did he miss because of it? 21
games.
21 with the Bucks.
21, yeah.
With the Nets,
the Nets in the regular season. If it's a reoccurring injury or something that wasn't quite right, but you thought you'll give it a go anyway, then I don't see him being back at least for the next 2-3 games.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
That could cause a lot of trouble for the Nets.
Oh yeah, because it makes life easier for the Bucks. Their game plan is going to be a lot more simpler. They now know the threats that the Nets are going to have. And it's like the whole, LeBron loses his first game in the playoffs to see how they're going to set up sort of vibe. If the Bucks can do that, and they're a great defensive team, if they can get that defensive structure in place, all they need to then focus on is how to make that offense click. And I think they'll make it click because the shots they were getting were wide open shots. On any other day, they're probably dropping.
Yeah.
They moved up all well. All right, sometimes the Nets did cause a few issues and did collapse the floor well. And, I saw 5 Nets bodies around a rebound and probably 1 buck. And you can't have that.
Nah, yeah, that's it.
Do you know what I mean? You need to be challenging those boards because you have that height advantage.
This is a point I brought up after they finished Miami off in 4 is that the amount of time off they've had a week off, and in some cases that can hinder you, and maybe that's why they was a little bit slow to start. Game 2, I'm hoping will be a lot better.
Oh yeah, because you're not seeing Chris Middleton shooting 26% next game, are you?
Nah.
Well, you'd hope not.
Yeah, you hope
Anything
not.
could happen, but you'd hope not. And if he is shooting 20%, then the other guys have got to step up. The scoring, not a single role player scored double digits.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It was all in those starting 5, which you didn't get in the last series against Miami. Everybody chipped in against the Miami, and now it's sort of a case of, right, you need to find your groove again. Yes, they've had a week off, but you need to find that groove and find it quickly. Because if you go 2 games down against Brooklyn, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
It's going to be a very steep uphill climb.
Yeah.
Exactly. Should we move over to the Hawks?
Yes.
And the 76ers?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the Hawks are growing on me.
The Hawks are growing, yeah.
Still don't like them. I think they're still arrogant, but they're growing on me for their confidence. And I was looking into this more, and regular season, I'll be honest, didn't pay too much attention to Atlanta. No. I don't think many people did. Could be an oversight on their behalf, but when you watch them play at the moment, they look smooth.
They do look good. And we are currently watching them play Philly now. It's in the 4th, 3 minutes to go in the 4th, and it's been a dominating performance. Trae Young is an animal. And as you said, during the season, I overlooked them for sure. Didn't pay much attention to them whatsoever. And the way they handled the Knicks. Now, the Knicks got lucky getting 4th, getting home court advantage, purely because they won the regular season series between them and Atlanta. But they had the same record, and Atlanta was just so much deeper. Atlanta was just so much deeper than the Knicks.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, if you look at the box scores going back the last few games, they'll have probably 6-7 people on double-digit scoring. They've got legit scorers in that team and deep scoring options.
And that is the thing, that they are so much deeper.
Yeah, and it's not even like you've not got superstar deep players, but you've got contributors. Contributors you can rely on. Bogdanovic, what a pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
What a pickup. Someone, all right, some say he's streaky and some say he has to get hot to drop big numbers. But if you're getting him wide open, he's going to get hot very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to look at. You need to go, who are my scoring options? How do I get you open? And if you're not open, who's my second? And Atlanta have a second option all the time. And if they're not working the perimeter, they've got fantastic pick and roll options with John Collins and Clint Capella. They're going to get people open. Trae Young's floater at the moment looks, wet like water. He's so smooth.
Trae Young had 114 floaters this season in the regular season. 114 floaters.
So smooth.
Most in the league.
Game reminds me most of the next Stephen Curry. Do you know that floater game, the 3-point game, his handling? It reminds me of what could be the next sort of Steph Curry type player.
But he's coming into it a lot quicker than Steph did.
Oh yeah,
a lot quicker than Steph did.
Yeah.
But then this is the NBA today, isn't it? This is the type of guard that teams are looking for.
Yeah.
People just want shooters and penetrate, kick. If you're not going to kick, it's a floater, and if that floater's sinking, then you're a dangerous person.
Yeah,
very dangerous person.
We're watching this game now, and it's going to be. I'd love to have said this is going to be an exciting series, but I think Philly need to pick it up a little bit. And from what we've seen, obviously we watched most of this game. What do you want to see more from Philly? What's missing? What do you think they need to do? Because at the moment they've been predominantly down 20 points minimum throughout most of this game.
Yeah.
It's 10 at the moment, okay, just brought back to 7, but predominantly 20 the whole game. So what does Philly need to do to not be in that position of being down 20?
It's hard, man, because Trae Young is just, like, you're saying he's the next Steph. That's how you need to guard him. You need to be face guarding him the whole game so that he can't get the shots off. Well, he will get the shots off, but he can't even receive the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He needs to be running around the court the way Steph does to see if he's got that energy, that stamina that Steph's developed over the years to come off of these screens, like Ray Allen did back in the day. The off-ball movement, to see if Trae Young's got that, because he's predominantly an on-ball scorer.
Yeah.
So I think for Philly, they've got to put him in that position where he's got to play off the ball as much as they can. And although Clint Capella's guarded Joel Embiid very well tonight, and the same with John Collins, they've got to get it inside. But they've got to use their height advantage. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, they've all got to get inside.
At the moment, they've got Danny Green guarding Trae Young. Is that the right option in your mind?
No.
I personally put Tobias Harris on
Trae Young?
Yeah, as a first option. But what you need to do is you need to basically pressure Trae Young to take that shot away from him, and then step up on the inside and take the floater away from him as well. Do you see what I mean? It will probably open up the lob a lot more.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit?
But I've got more faith in getting the ball out of Trae Young's hands early and putting pressure on that pass and making it more of a forced pass rather than just a nice, I'll get in my lane, he gets to that free throw line and there's no one really around him. If you look at these floaters he's making,
they're wide open.
The coverage is so late. Step up a little bit and anticipate the lob pass. If you take that floater away, he's not a mid-range spot-up jumper. He likes the floater. So anticipate, if he's not floating as a shot, he's probably going to pass. So collapse and make it more of a harder option. Play him a little bit like he's going to be uncomfortable, because at the moment he's looking so comfortable, and he shouldn't be. You know, in who he is at the moment, it must be his first. Is it his first playoff?
It's his first playoff.
First playoffs. He shouldn't be this comfortable.
Nah,
he's
coming out hot. We're going to get onto the younger guys in the playoffs a bit later on, but he's come out absolutely steamrolling in these playoffs. Looks like he's been playing in the playoffs for the last 3 or 4 years. He's not even been in the league that long.
No, exactly. He looks like he's changed from duck to water, and a fair play to the kid. You know, I must admit, he's first playoffs. He's a bit lippy. It makes it exciting though.
It is exciting.
He's making it a talking point.
He's playing this villain role, and I think, and I texted you earlier at the start of the game when he went off. I think he had 20 to 22 in the first half, and the Philadelphia crowd are booing him, and he's lapping it up. It's like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
You know, he's shooting 35-footers, coming down the floor, just pulling up, nailing the bottom of the net. It's just adding fuel to the fire for him, I think. He's loving it. He's playing the villain role so well, especially he's not got home court advantage against anyone they play now. He's on their floor, and in the first game, if he's giving it to you the way he has done against the Knicks and the way he's played against Philadelphia so far, he is lapping it up, and he's going to become the most hated guard in the NBA, and he's embracing it.
Yeah, he's
absolutely embracing it.
And he's playing for Atlanta.
Do you know what I
mean? He's not playing for the most in-your-face team. He's not playing for the most extravagant team, but he's making them exciting to watch.
He's making them very exciting, and they're so young. I mean, John Collins, I think he's only 23 himself.
But that's what I mean. They've got young pieces. Clint Capella's a great piece for him. You know, that business they did with Houston to get Clint Capella in.
It's really worked out well for him.
Really worked out. And he complements that team so well. And I think they have got enough to take Philly in this series. I really do. The way they're showing up at the moment, I can't see. You know, I want to see more from Ben Simmons. And I have to see more from Ben Simmons. But you know what the thing about Ben Simmons is? He's so predictable because he hasn't got a jump shot.
Yeah. And that's the thing I wanted to point out earlier. I can't remember who for Atlanta was guarding him, but whoever was guarding him was stepping out to the three-point line. I'm thinking, what are you doing? He just beats you with his first step and he's at the rim.
And 6'10's the point guard. He's going to finish that rim. I honestly, and I'm surprised I'm not doing this, as cocky as they are, I'd step back. You know,
100%.
Let him take the shot.
Let him take the shot. Let him make the play.
It's like they do with Giannis, right? The Nets did it to Giannis. If he's on the three-point line, they step back, right? And they go, shoot it then.
Yeah.
Because you're going to miss more shots from back there than you are if you get into our sort of like, you know, perimeter of the actual rim. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, why not do the same for Ben Simmons? You know he's not going to, you know, make the shots 9 times out of 10. You know, he's going to make probably 1 out of 10, which is embarrassing for an NBA point guard of today's caliber. Okay, he's had plenty of time to develop that shot, and he's just not. You know, if you make 1 3-pointer in the regular season and the whole NBA goes mental for it and you start becoming a meme, you need to take a good look at yourself. You're meant to be the Fresh Prince of the NBA coming after the ball. You don't live up to that title. And I just think that keep Ben Simmons out on the perimeter, force him to take a free. He's not going to want to take the free, but then you know what he's going to do next.
Put a wall in the paint. Yeah. He can't do anything.
You know what he's going to do next.
He has to make a play.
And then you're going to anticipate the pass a lot easier.
Yeah.
If you could let the fresh air guard him on the perimeter. I don't mind.
No, that's it.
He's not going to make these shots, and then you just have to out rebound the guys if he does take it. And the Wizards figured this one out as well when they started doing Hacker Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah, force him to go to the line. He's not going to hit all his free throws, so you got to get more opportunities. Step off him a little bit, let him shoot. Just don't let him take the ball into the rim. Yeah. But Ben Simmons for me needs to do more.
Yeah, he's playing well on the defensive end. You saying about Tobias Harris and Trae Young, I think Ben Simmons needs to pick him up early.
Would you play him 3/4 court? Would you know who's got a man on him?
Not with a Ben Simmons, no. If I had, I don't even know who I'd put him.
What about this young kid, the Fireball?
Fireball, yeah.
He showed some great defensive potential in the regular season.
Yeah,
young, quick. But
he's a very good wing defender.
But
I
who'd
don't
take
know
out
if
your
he's.
team?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I don't know if he's got the foot speed, the lateral movement to keep up with Trae.
Not got the facilities for that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm looking at Ben Simmons and I'm saying, you want to be defensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Show us. Trae Young, pick him up, hold him down, and see how that goes. But Philly needs some talking. They need some talking because they've taken a beat in this game, and it's close now, but it doesn't speak for what the game is.
Let's throw some early predictions in then. What do you reckon the series is going to look like come end of it?
I don't think this is the Philly that is the number one seed that we've just seen in this game. But if this Atlanta continues the way that they played against the Knicks, I think it's going to go exactly the same as the way the Knicks series went.
Do you reckon it'll be closer though? Do you reckon it'll be like a 4-2, 4-3 type scenario, or do you reckon it'll be a 4-1? What do you reckon?
I think.
Yeah, I think
it'll be a 4-1.
4-1. Okay.
I think it'll be a 4-1. I think Atlanta have figured some stuff out, man.
I think Philly will take 2.
You think Philly will get 2? Well, they've just lost home court advantage. In 23 seconds, they're going to lose home court advantage. So I'm thinking they're going to win game 2, lose 2 in Atlanta, and then lose game 5.
Don't forget how good of a coach Doc Rivers is, though. He'll figure something out. A couple of games. He won't master plan it, but...
I get you. I feel you. And Doc Rivers is a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they was having this argument about Doc Rivers. He's a great coach, but when was the last time he won a championship? 2008. Boston Big Three. He hasn't got that anymore. He hasn't got a Kevin Garnett. He hasn't got a Ray Allen. He hasn't got a Paul Pierce. He doesn't have a Rajon Rondo to take him to that championship. He had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it to the conference finals.
JJ Redick there as well, didn't he? As your Ray Allen looking like, that piece.
He couldn't get it done there. They sacked him off. He's gone to Philly, which is a great team, and he's got him to the number 1 seed. Great. Joel Embiid missed 20 games, and they still held it down. Oh, I say held it down. I think they were 10 and 11 when he was out.
In quite we said this a couple of weeks back. Quite a disruptive season, though. A lot of COVID calls, a lot of obviously people not being able to be available and stuff like that. So, would they be able to do that in a non-tampered with regular season?
Yeah, this is obviously the hot topic. It's not a normal season.
It's not a normal season. Yeah, it's not going to have the same asterisks against it like last year's did.
No.
But it's still not your regular season as you probably would have hoped it to be in a few years back. You got to have availability, and you can't have little procedures and protocols in place and stuff like that. It's just nonsense. But it's the way the world is at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to say 4-2 Atlanta.
4-2 Atlanta.
Yeah, I think we capped this off there, but I'm going to say 4-2 Atlanta. Are you going to stick with your 4-1?
I'm going to stick with my 4-1, yeah.
Okay.
And quickly, we didn't make a prediction for...
Oh, the Bucks and the Nets.
I'll tell you what, we'll come to it later. We'll do a roundup at the end. We'll come to the predictions at the end.
Give me time to think about it.
Yeah. We'll...
okay.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that later.
So where's our journey take us next then? We heading to the West?
Yeah. Let's take a look at, being that the West was a hell of a lot more interesting, the Trailblazers and the Nuggets.
I feel sorry for Dame. I feel sorry for Dame.
We are definitely getting into that later. Damian Lillard.
He's just a beast.
I mean, what more can you say?
Well, what more can you do? What more can you do?
If you're Damian Lillard, you can't. There's nothing more you can do. There's nothing more you can do. And like I say, we're going to get into that later. So let's talk about the series. Denver took it in 6. Dominant win after a huge Game 5.
Oh, huge Game 5.
I was trying to come up with some fancy word for it, but there's no other word for it. It was a huge Game 5. Yeah. And maybe that's why they won in 6, because it knocked the life out of Portland.
Deflated them, absolutely.
It really did knock the life out of Portland, and they never recovered.
No.
I mean, Dame hitting 2 game-tying threes. He didn't have nothing more to give in Game 6, did he?
Well, no. And it must be really hard for him, because when you drop such high numbers the game prior and you get nothing from it, and that's the thing about the NBA. You could drop 55 in a game, still lose the game, and you achieve nothing.
Yep.
And that's hard to take as an NBA player and as a competitive player as well. That's so hard to take. And players will turn around to you and say in these press conferences, "Oh, well, we just have to move on, focus on the next game. Whatever happened." But you can't sit there and tell me you don't sit there and feel, disappointed in the slightest about that.
Oh, he would have felt like garbage that night, I imagine.
And exhausted. You must sit there and go, where the hell was my support? Why is it all coming down to me to have to drop 50 plus points? Yeah, I'm dropping 50 plus points. Where the hell are you at?
He dropped 55. He had a plus-minus rating of +2. That's mad. That's absolutely mad. 55 points, 10 assists, 70% from 3. 70%
from the field.
From 3, and from the field.
Yeah.
12 of 17 from 3. CJ McCollum, 18 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds.
See, these are the games you need CJ and Dame to be,
This is what I was saying,
30 plus.
This is what I was saying, Chat. They're 2 heavy scoring guards that are going to get exposed on the defensive end, because you need that. I mean, imagine Damian Lillard with like a thigh ball, who's a big wing who can guard the guards and run the wing. It's just a different ball game. But CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard are both small guards that just score heavy. And if one's doing it one night, it's not likely the other's going off as well.
Yeah. I'm going to throw this one out there as well. When people are going to start thinking I've got something against this guy, I really haven't. I actually do really like this guy. But Carmelo Anthony, right? I'm just going to throw 30 minutes, 8 points, 27% shooting from the field. Now, does he still think he's playing for the Nuggets? Is he still got some sort of like endorsement deals going over there? But he got to make some more of those shots. If he makes more of those shots and shoots 40%, that we know he can do easily, Portland probably come away with that win.
Yeah,
but you can't drop 8 points in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but
8 points.
I mean, you got to give him a break. He's in his 18th year like LeBron, but he isn't LeBron.
Well, then don't play him 30 minutes.
No, true. Absolutely true. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Don't play him 30 minutes.
There's a lot of DMPs there that, could take up some of the minutes and probably put a bit more of an impact in. Derek Jones. But, I mean, even Cantor.
He's been non-existent for him, really.
He's been non-existent, but he's still getting 15, 20 minutes a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Game 5. Game 6 wasn't even...
Well, we've got to give credit to...
Live by the 3, die by the 3 in Game 6, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we've got to give credit to Denver. We can't throw all the focus on Portland and they lose the series. We've got to have some sort of step back and say, give credit to Denver. They got the job done. Is one thing you have to say. They're up against it, and I think we were looking at each other last week going, Portland could pull this off, and we're probably more confident that Portland will pull it off. And they proved us wrong. We have to sometimes eat our words, and we will do. But
I think we predicted every series wrong so far.
Well, this is what I mean about the NBA. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's turn up on the night and who's not going to turn up on the night. Yep. And that's what people love about it. The ball don't lie. If your shot is dropping, it's fantastic. If it's not, stop shooting it and give it to someone else.
Yeah.
You got 4 other talented people on that court. Give the ball to someone else. And that's what I've got a feeling that Denver are capable of doing. What is it? Is it Monte Morris for Denver? Is it his name?
That's
Monte Morris?
it, yeah.
22 points in that last game. sharing the load, taking the pressure off the other guys on that court.
Yeah.
You know, and the four of the five starters in double digits. Campazzo, I don't know much about Campazzo. You know, I'm not really going to sit here and say I know his game inside and out, but he seems to be doing something in that lineup and not making Jamal Murray feel as missed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's helping people like Michael Porter Jr. get better shots.
Oh, Michael Porter Jr. went off in that game.
Yeah, he's getting better shots, and I think it's part of it. They're making good plays, and it's more structured than what a Jamal Murray would probably be able to do at the moment. And you get this with the European guards.
Yeah.
You know, European guards
They see the floor in a different way.
See the floor. You're quite right. And it helps a lot of people, especially people like Michael Porter, who have to be open. He's not going to beat people often off the dribble. He's not going to be comfortable putting that pressure and driving into people. He's just not that player yet, because obviously he's probably got concerns about the back injuries he's had, and he's not as physical as you probably expect him to be.
Yeah.
But if you get him open, he's probably going to knock that shot down.
Yeah.
And he's shown that, you know. Dropping 26 points in that last game, I think it was.
26 points. He had 26 at a half.
Yeah.
So he didn't score in the second half.
He scored in the second half.
33 minutes.
But still shot 52%.
Yeah, he was very efficient. And, I mean, Joker had 9 points at the half and finished with 36. So, Michael Porter Jr. didn't really need to do that much in the second half. But Joker's just proven why he's MVP. And he controls the floor so well for a centre. You know what I mean? When have you heard of a centre controlling the floor? He's a phenomenal player. An absolutely phenomenal player. And I find it hard to see where they struggle in this Western Conference now. No, they're going up against the Suns. They're going up against the Suns, yeah?
Yeah, I think they struggle.
They're going up against the
I'm going
Suns.
to call it. I think they struggle.
You think they struggle against the Suns?
I think they struggle against the Suns.
So you think DeAndre Ayton is going to give the Joker a hard time?
With a little help from his friends. I think, yeah. I think people are sleeping on DeAndre Ayton. I really do.
He had a good series, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you that. He played really well.
And
he played really well, but he's somebody that it's almost like Chris Paul's got to activate him. Like, he has to be activated. He can't go off and have a good game on his own back.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see that much offensively from Ayton next series. I think they'll ask him to be a lot more defensive-minded and making sure Jokic doesn't get what he wants to get. You know, because you don't need him to be as offensive scoring to win that game.
No.
You know, if he gets the dirty and the gritty stuff and he's cleaning up the boards and finishing those, and he happens to get a pick and roll and all this good stuff, fantastic. But he's not going to have to post up. He's not going to have to do the hard work and you know, really fatigue his body. They're probably going to turn around and say, right, Joker's our biggest issue. Make sure he doesn't get what he wants. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of doubling on Joker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that wouldn't surprise me at all. To see the doubling on the Joker, but
I just hope it's not Chris Paul that
with
comes
that,
over
and
to help.
obviously, yeah, just chop down on his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
With that comes Jokic's playmaking. You know, if you're going to send a double at him, he's going to find something, and he will find something because, you know, Austin Rivers has turned into playoff Rivers.
Yeah.
Like Michael Porter Jr. had a great game. Aaron Gordon always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's a great big body.
But sometimes I think this is where you have to, if you're Phoenix, you have to take a risk. Yeah. You have to sit there and go, do you know what? If Joker's got the ball and we're going to double team him, we're not going to leave Michael Porter open. We're going to make sure he's denied.
You have to pick.
We're
the right
going to
person.
leave Austin Rivers open.
Yeah.
Because, all right, he's had a few fantastic games.
Yeah.
But I'd rather him take that shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
I'd rather him have that shot because he's not going to make it half as many times as some of the other people on that floor. If Campazzo's open, fantastic.
Same thing, yeah.
Same thing. I am stopping the likes of Michael Porter Jr. getting the ball. I'm stopping Aaron Gordon getting the ball and letting the game play out that way. And I will, I'll live with those shots. If it makes them, fantastic. Well done. But if it doesn't, it's a fantastic game plan. Do you see what I mean?
I get what you're saying, yeah. But it's a similar. I was meant to bring this up in the Bucks. It's a similar thing with the Suns and the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers were just god awful, and Did the Suns look that good because the Lakers were that bad, or was it the Suns making them look that bad? And it's the same thing with the Heat and the Bucks. Were the Heat that bad that the Bucks looked so strong, or
I firmly believe
make them look bad?
It's a contribution to both. I think the Lakers were not the Lakers we expected and wanted to see, but I also think that Phoenix had a great game plan. I think they're hungry, and I think they're trying to prove a point that they finished in the regular season where they finished because of merit, not because it was given to them, or it never was, but they're there because they're going to work hard. Yeah. They're going to make things difficult, and all right, there were some highlight plays. I think everyone heard our reactions in the last podcast when we were sitting there watching LeBron dunk off the backboard. But that wasn't all like that the whole game.
That didn't deflate them. They changed that ball game around straight away.
Came straight back at Lakers. Yeah. And that's what makes the difference, is that as soon as Phoenix went on a run, you saw some of the Lakers' heads drop. They got deflated.
Yep.
They started taking rushed and not shots that you'd probably mix up with a Lakers roster. And the Phoenix were loving it.
Yeah.
And it's because they were being disciplined. Is one thing I'll definitely say. Bridges, fantastic defender, by the way. Great effort all round from Bridges, and I think no one was expecting that really in the playoffs. Devin Booker, fantastic performances from him all round. Chris Paul, great leader of this team.
Well, yeah, this is what they're saying about the Chris Paul effect, and everywhere he's gone, he's turned the team around. But
yeah,
I mean, you got to remember that in the bubble, the Suns were undefeated, so this has been brewing. And again, very similar to Atlanta, they're such a young team. And Jay Crowder, wow. Player of the series. Player of the series by far. Knocking down the shots when he was supposed to. Getting the crowd involved in Arizona. And
being a nuisance.
LeBron James off.
Being a nuisance. Yeah. That's still going back and forth now, by the way. That LeBron and Crowder.
I mean, there's some...
he's under that skin of LeBron, isn't he?
There's some bitterness there, isn't there, from Cleveland.
Well, yeah, and I'm all here for it, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I absolutely love seeing it. A bit of rivalry goes a long way. You don't really see rivalries nowadays in today's NBA. So, I'm not saying that Lakers-Phoenix is going to be the future of rivalries, but at the moment, I'm loving Jay Crowder's attitude. And he's doing it in the right way as well. He's doing it to help and benefit his team, not like Atlanta are doing it to be showy and flashy and arrogant. His attitude is in the right place because he's trying to do it to benefit and better his team. Yeah. In what he knows is a great circumstance, so fair play to him.
Yeah, agreed. So while we're here on the Suns and Lakers, is this the Lakers done? Is this the Lakers done in the LeBron era? Do they not go anywhere from here?
They need to take a good hard look at themselves and the roster. They need to, Kyle Kuzma has to go. He has to go. He's not good enough. He shot 26% in the whole of the off-season.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what can you get for him? In my eyes, FA.
Well, yeah, you can get... What you need to do is you need to find a team that's going to take a risk on Kyle Kuzma's hidden potential, and it's very well hidden. He's hiding it so well. And do they look at it and go, Ingram went to Pelicans and shown out. Randall went to New York, and although he didn't play badly in LA, he's now, all-star caliber in
most
that realm.
Player,
exactly. So do a team on the fringes and probably on a rebuild stage go, Kyle Kuzma, probably worth a risk. Let's see what we can give up for him. Do you know what I mean?
I still don't think you're getting a lot back.
And you probably won't, but you need to get something for him. And anything at the moment in return to Kyle Kuzma will be beneficial.
Anything would be better than Kyle Kuzma.
Anything is better than Kyle Kuzma, mate.
But this is the thing. I just think the Lakers were so poor. I mean, the replacement situation when people like Rondo and Dwight Howard left, just it didn't live up. I mean, KCP wasn't KCP from last year. Caruso is consistent. There's not really much more to say on him.
But he played 7 minutes in that last game.
Yeah. Frank Vogel and his rotations were just shocking.
Montrezl Harrell, a guy that can bring you energy, played 7 minutes in an elimination game.
And Drummond didn't even get a look in.
Well, yeah. I don't know if he was injured or I don't know much around that.
He wasn't injured. He just didn't get. I think Vogel just didn't like the way that he played in game 5. In game 5, and just he's like, right, you're done.
But you can't do that. He's probably one of the best rebounders in the game. You know, he's a presence on the inside.
He is. I mean, his
can't
time
just
in
turn
Detroit
around.
is just.
You brought him to LA for a reason, to help out LeBron.
Although I like Marc Gasol, and I think earlier on in the series he needed some airtime, but he needed some airtime that he didn't get. But
you don't cut both of them out, do you? You play them both on equal minutes.
You know, I mean, you replace Rondo with Schroeder, and yes, on paper it should be better, but Schroeder turned down an extension with the Lakers earlier in the year, so he's like, I'm going to get me some money. I'm going to ball. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to go and get me some money. He didn't want no part of the Lakers. Anthony Davis, obviously, you know, coming out 5 minutes into the game, that didn't help. You were saying he never should have been out there. I think in an elimination game, it's do or die. You know, put your body on the line, but.
Well, he put his body on the line and he lasted, 3 minutes?
This is what I can't understand. You're on the same team as a man who is 36 years old in his 18th year in the league, it's well known he spends over $1.5 million on his body every single year. And he's out there supposedly on 85%. So it said he's playing at 85%.
Durable.
He's durable. What is wrong with you at the age of 28? What is wrong with you at the age of 28?
But he's never been fully healthy.
There's something
wrong with this guy.
This is where it was so amazing in the bubble, where it's like, this is AD, man. Look at this start of the season. Wow, look at AD. Like, you know, we're talking about him in an MVP race here, and then injury, and he's back, and then he's injured, and then he's back, and then he drops 42 on the Suns just before the end of the season. It's like, whoa, this is going to be a whitewash if they play the Suns. And then, injury. I don't get it.
It's a letdown, and I feel sorry for Laker fans because it is a letdown. Because Laker fans get so excited when they get to see LeBron and Davis hit the floor together. And rightly so. Yeah. That is a duo.
I mean, they're supposed to be two top 10 players.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely. We already know LeBron is, but AD should be in that bracket on a consistent basis when he's on the floor. But that's the point. You have to be on the floor.
Yep. Best ability is availability.
You can't help the bench. You can't help the team from the bench or from the injury table. It's just not possible. You're best when you're on the floor. Get yourself healthy. Figure out whatever it is that's going wrong. Because a lot of it is going back to what I was saying about earlier. A lot of it isn't impact injuries. If he snapped his leg like a Nurkic, or if he did something quite physical like Gordon Hayward did, or Paul George, I'd probably say, you've probably got a weakness in your leg or something like that.
He's just running the floor, and
it's just non-impact injuries, and he's
like stepping back onto the score table and doing your. What did that end up being? Did that end up being his back or something like that? It looked like it was his knee, and then it come out and it was his back. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Well, it's like you know what? They say that he used to play point guard back in his high school days, and he grew
6 inches in the
inches
summer
overnight. Yeah. I think he's just never grew into his body.
No,
he's just still catching up. You know, that fibers in his body just aren't there yet. And I personally, it's a big bold statement, but I'd look to see what you can get for him right now.
Oh, that is bold.
Because do you want a liability on your team as your second option? LeBron's got very little time left. Okay, playing at the highest and championship level. And a lot of people right now are saying, is this the decline of LeBron and stuff like that? From what I'm seeing of LeBron, no. LeBron's still LeBron. He's still doing what he needs to do.
You've only got to go back 5 months and see what he was
doing. He's not on decline. He's still doing fantastically well in this series. All right, not the numbers you probably say you'd expect, but he still was the best person on that Laker floor by a mile. So do you shop...
And uninterested at that.
Yeah, and if you shop AD, you're going to get some good stuff for him because he's still got a lot of value, as you say. On his day, he's a top 10 player, 100%, probably even top 5 if he wants to be there. But trade him. Get him out, see what you can get for him where you got stock value, and give LeBron an actual title running shot at it. I would even say if you could shop him out and bring someone in like a Kawhi or a Russ or someone out, someone else in there. You don't necessarily need to have a stretch 4, or a stretch 5. You don't need it in today's, especially when you're LeBron and you like to drive and get to the hoop. Get actual people on the perimeter who are comfortable on the perimeter and want to be there.
That's what the Lakers lacked heavy is shooters. They lacked it big time, and it's a make or miss league, isn't it? And they missed everything.
Yeah,
they missed absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And it was a poor performance from the Lakers. And I mean, I could not see them getting rid of Anthony Davis, but they need somebody else. They need as I said in the last episode, they need a Bradley Beal or somebody else in there that when LeBron does move on can still continue to run with AD if AD chooses to be there. You know, what they've got just doesn't work.
No.
Drummond, bringing Drummond in, what a waste of time. You know, as we say, Kyle Kuzma, there's no point in him even being on the floor. But it's one of them things, I think maybe it's one of them things with Kyle Kuzma that he can't blossom under LeBron's wing because...
He never blossomed before LeBron got there.
No, that's true.
Everyone says, "Oh, you've got fantastic potential. Oh, it's going to be a breakout star," and he's just never broken out.
He's never broken out. No, they picked the wrong one when they traded for AD.
Oh yeah,
they kept the wrong one. I should
say
they
kept the wrong one. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think I'd rather Lonzo than Kyle Kuzma.
Well, yeah. I can't disagree. I'm not going to attempt to disagree on that one. Normally, I would try and fight you back, but I think you're talking in a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's it. Right, Mavs and Clippers just started. We're watching the first quarter now. Game 7. What are we saying?
So I think this comes down to a fact is that Clippers have been here more times before. They've probably got more experience in this situation.
Clippers have lost many times before as well.
Well, yeah, and you know
that guy right there,
so smooth.
That guy right there,
Doncic
is the reason why the Clippers are going on vacation after tonight.
Well, I hope they do because I really like Dallas, and I think I'd really love to see them. And to be fair to you, they're not this team built around stars. You know, the Clippers went out and they purposely got Paul George and they purposely got Kawhi. Superstars. And I think we were talking about this the other day or earlier on today. The reason why we personally believe that it's not working at the Clippers is because they've got too many different personalities.
Conflicting personalities, yeah.
Surrounding
half a team that wants to scream in the opponent's face and laugh and talk absolute garbage to them, and then you've got supposedly the best player on the team who doesn't want none of that business.
Doesn't want to be known to be part of any of that business. No. And this is why it worked. Like, so if you don't know who we're talking about Kawhi Leonard here. And, you know, when Kawhi was at the Raptors, they had a very silent but very hard-working team. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, you know, and let's face it, when they traded DeRozan for Leonard, Kyle was probably the first person to stand up and say he was disappointed because obviously the friendship they had. But he got to business, they made it work, and at the end of the day, they won a championship.
Yeah.
You know, they shut their mouths and they got to work. Yep. And they weren't chirping, they weren't doing anything, they just done what they needed to do. OG Anunoby, another fantastic player at that series as well. Now, Pat Bev, Morris, you know, they've got people that just run their mouth but don't back it up with game.
Yeah.
On the best, the best days.
And I don't think Kawhi likes it at all.
No.
I think should the Mavs lose tonight, there's going to be a lot of questions raised.
It's a distraction for him. It really is a distraction for him.
Tim Hardaway Jr. looks like he's hurt in the first quarter.
Can I just say as well, one big thing that I've seen this past week since we did our last podcast. Boban's in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, what a man! He's made such a difference as well. I was watching some of the games and just that
He got a flagrant. Well, elbows to the chops. He got a flagrant.
I don't know how you can give a flagrant to the nicest guy in the NBA.
It's just the height difference. He doesn't know where his elbows are on the opponent, does he?
That's it. Your face met his elbow. That's what I'm going to say.
Dallas is built different. Dallas is bringing this. I mean, Doncic is going to be around for a very long time.
Oh yeah,
but they're bringing him up. You know, they scouted him. They traded for him on draft day. They're bringing him up, and I see Doncic as Dirk. I don't want to speak too soon. It's only his first year, but
the potential.
Mark Cuban's going to keep him happy no matter what it takes. If he's got to open a checkbook up to bring in whoever Doncic wants, he's going to be doing it.
Do you think he could do what he's doing now? So let's say hypothetical theories now, because obviously we don't know. The game is very close and it's still early days. But let's say the Mavs do win tonight, and they're going to go up against a very tough Utah team. Can Doncic do the numbers he's dropping in this series against someone like Utah?
This is the thing.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell will let him. I'm not saying he'll guard him, but I'm just saying I don't think.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know if there's somebody that can stop Luka Doncic because he's he's a playmaker. He evaluates the floor as the game's going on and makes a decision based. I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
He's got a way of getting the shots that he wants to get. And you can't... It's one of those ones where we just saw right now, a pick and roll, the switch happened. And you think he's going to try... normally a guard, when they get in a situation, will probably try and take it past the big and get that first step. He just sized him up, had a little step back, as Luka does.
Pulled up in his face.
And it is so smooth.
And if he doesn't feel the shots there, he's making a play for somebody else. He's driving, throwing the lob to Porzingis, or he's kicking it out Tim Hardaway on a free. It's
great to watch.
It is. It's great to watch, and it's even better. This because it's all coming out of Europe. Jokic, Doncic. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. Let's do this. Let's take over the NBA.
European NBA fans out there. There is hope.
There is. Let's
There's more recognition coming your way.
We just need a few more English guys going to the NBA.
You never know. You could see
it's coming soon.
See a true European and Jokic making the MVP. That'll be a massive thing for him.
Well, we just had back-to-back MVPs in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming. We're coming.
Making statements, changing the game for the better in that regard. And that is it. The European basketball and what they're bringing into the NBA, it's more it's bringing it back to more fundamental basis.
Yeah.
It's making plays, it's slowing the ball down, it's doing what is right to do and not forcing the play.
No.
And that's the difference between a Doncic and probably a Ja Morant. Not right now.
Somebody that grows up in Europe will play a hell of a lot different than somebody that grows up playing AAU basketball.
Exactly.
And I don't. Obviously, I don't know. I didn't. I spent. For people that don't know, I spent a year out in America. Played ball out there. I didn't play AAU or anything like that, so I don't know the scene. But I saw how the people play out there in comparison to how people play over here.
Well, I'll tell you right.
It's not. People think you have to go to America to be good at ball. It's not true. It really isn't true.
And it's getting more recognition nowadays as well.
It is.
And here's the thing, right? We're not saying it's going to be the case, but I do not go on YouTube and search European college highlights basketball. No. Because the action and what you want to see and all the dunks and the flair is AAU.
It's the big markets.
It's the big markets. The Amani Bates coming through at the moment, the Isaiah Todds. These people that are throwing down dunks on people's heads every single week in, week out. You're not going over to Europe and going, who's coming through the European ranks because you're going to watch a nice pick and roll and a nice pop.
And a smooth pass.
A smooth pass. But when it translates into the NBA and you're watching it, it's beautiful to watch.
It is beautiful to watch. The footwork, it can't be stopped.
No.
Especially, again, with these kids growing up in the AAU, they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And the difference between European players and American players is athleticism. A lot of American players get to where they are off raw athleticism, and then when they get into the league, they'll develop it. Ja Morant's, they'll develop a jump shot. The Donovan Mitchell's, they work on their game when they're in the league, but they got there off of athleticism.
Yeah,
and the European player got there because they've been dominating the Euro League for the last 8 years. You know what I mean?
Well, this is about the European side of things and the American side of things as well. Is that when you're in America, you're playing against people your age in your league, in your colleges, in your universities all the time. So you're playing against players that some of them are breakout stars and probably will meet the NBA, and most of them though are chance your armors, not really focused on making the NBA as a career or basketball as a career. And you're going to be able to beat them off the dribble and off things most times night in, night out. When we're over in Europe, a lot of people growing up in basketball, and I'll put my example into this. When I was 15 years old, I was playing against grown men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In league basketball. And I had to learn the game much quicker than what I wanted to because you're just going to get made a fool of or you're going to get a lot more physical. Because I see you as a young kid, and you learn that. And Luka's learned that because he's been playing in the Euro League and professionally for God knows how many years before even making to the NBA. He's seasoned. Yeah. So when he comes against people like Pat Beverley, who are barkers and talkers and try and intimidate you in that way, he's not fazed.
He's going to let the game talk.
Yeah, he's had that a lot worse playing in Europe. Yeah. I can promise you now because people in Europe are physical, dirtier. You can get away with a lot more. Yeah, they're still in the realms of the big man in Europe. You know what I mean, with the physicality.
Yeah.
and he's not going to be faced, and he's not. You can tell that he's dropping 44s easily.
Exactly
still
that.
picking up
He's
his assist
absolutely
numbers.
dominating.
He's brilliant to watch, and I'm excited for it. And I really hope that the Mavs get through this game 7 and get through comfortably, because I want to see him in that next round. And I think Utah Mavs will be a fantastic watch.
Yeah,
I really do.
Score prediction for this game 7?
Score prediction, or do you want a result prediction?
Score prediction.
Oh, score prediction. So, Mavs to take it 120-107.
120-107, yeah?
Yeah. And I know the most recent games haven't been that higher scoring, but I think it's an elimination game. It needs to be. And, first quarter right now, 28-31 with 3 minutes left to go.
It's going to be high scoring.
It's going to be a high scoring game because no one's going to want to go home.
I'm going to go with 117-112. Dallas win.
Okay, you're going quite close.
I'm going to call it close. Yeah, I'm going to call a 5-point game, and it's going to be Luka pulling up big, pulling up big in the final moments. I want to say overtime, but I think that's just the fan in me.
Well, you know what's going to be the big key is Mavs defense, because the Mavs have not kept the Clippers under 100 the whole series. Do you know what I mean? So we know the likelihood is it's going to be over 100. We've seen the Clippers keep the Mavs below 90, below 100. So I think the Mavs need to be making their shots, and I've taken my eyes off for 2 seconds. I've not seen if Tim Hardaway Jr. is still on the floor, if he's had to leave, and what his situation is. But that could be a massive miss on the scoring front.
Yeah, that could be big trouble if he's left.
So I think we need to figure out what's happening there. And here he is.
Just checking back into the game.
He's hopping that angle fight.
Come on, the boy.
So it's going to be a massive factors in this game. Can you remain healthy? Can you stay out of foul trouble? And can you shut down defense? Don't let Kawhi do what he likes to do in game 7s and elimination games and take over. You don't want 40s from Kawhi. You want to limit him as much as you can and force people like Paul George to be the big man today.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, leave it on Paul George's shoulders.
Leave it on his shoulders.
Rather than Kawhi. Kawhi's come up big in the past. You have to shut him down out of the two of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon, so what was it, 120-107 Mavs. It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be exciting. It's a 1-point game at the moment. It's one to keep an eye on if you're not watching it. Hopefully you're watching along as we're talking as well. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic game, I think. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a good one. Only game 7 in this first round. It's got to be good. It's been well, other than the Portland Denver series, this is probably the second best series in the playoffs so far. No, I think it's been a trash playoffs. You disagree? I think it's been a trash. I think competition's not been there.
I think the East has been quite trash. I think the West has been good to watch and more interesting. And I think that's because of the unsung heroes like your Phoenix Suns beating the Lakers. I think that's a fantastic story, and I think most people didn't expect it to go the way it happened. Yeah, this game going to game 7, I think it's a fantastic series going so far. The other side of the bracket, I wanted to say I was excited to see the Heat versus the Bucks. That got blown out. I wanted to say I wanted to see the Wizards do something more against Philly. That was a wash as well. There was just nothing in that bracket.
No.
They
snatched a game, like Boston snatched a game and Washington snatched a game. But
that's the word you're using there, and it's the right word. They snatched it.
Yeah,
they didn't make it close or competitive. It was a snatch. It was a steal. And, these games right now, this Clippers and Dallas series, for example, they're going at each other. And it's fantastic to watch,
back and forths.
The Phoenix and the Suns and the Lakers, all right, the Lakers didn't play well, but you like to watch it. Memphis and Utah, fantastic matchups in that one as well.
Brilliant matchups.
Great games to watch. You're right, the results probably weren't the most fascinating, but the game
to watch them,
was entertaining. But I think as you go deeper into these brackets, it's going to get better and better, especially with the matchups, how they're looking at the moment.
And that actually can bring us on to our first Dunked or Denied subject. So we're going to go on to Dunked or Denied now, and then we're going to finish up with some round 2 predictions. Right, so Dunked or Denied.
Hit me.
Is this the new generation of NBA superstars leading the way in the playoffs? So, for an example, LeBron's gone, AD's gone. You've got your Doncic's in, your Donovan Mitchells, your Trae Youngs. The young superstars are leading the way now. I mean, there's a good possibility that Kawhi and Paul George are about to be out of the league.
Yeah, Steph didn't make it. Got knocked out by a young Ja Morant. Yeah.
Obviously, they're putting up huge numbers now. Is this the future?
Yes. And to back it up and why I believe that is because how comfortable these young stars are looking at the moment.
That's key.
They're taking, Devin Booker is going up at the LeBron James team. Now, historically, anyone that says the words to you as a young guy, you're going up against the LeBron James team in the playoffs. This guy's never been knocked out the first round of the playoffs in his career. He's done X, Y, Z straight finals appearances. For him to turn around to that and not be phased and drop his regular season numbers, fantastic. He's
close him out with 47-point performance.
Exactly. He looked comfortable. You're looking at Trae Young. He's getting cocky. He's getting arrogant.
Yes.
He's not the best thing to watch in the world if you don't like that sort of stuff. But he's doing it because he knows he can.
He can.
Doncic, you watch him, smooth. I'll tell you what. If this is the next breakout stars in the NBA's got some exciting future coming across them for the next few years. It really has. Yeah. And the playoffs are going to be great to watch because there won't be a dominating factor like a LeBron. This next generation coming through at the moment, I don't think has LeBron.
No.
It doesn't have a player that's going to make straight final appearances and finals appearances and finals appearances.
It doesn't have such a dominant powerhouse in it, no.
Exactly, but it's got fantastic talent. And talent that's going to be around for a while, I think. Definitely.
This is... I completely agree. I'm going completely dunked on this. I think this is the next generation of the NBA. And I think the people that are here, and even certain players that didn't make it, like the Ja Morants, maybe even the Zions, they're going to be about LaMelo in a few years. If they can string together a decent team, these kids are the future.
Oh yeah,
and they are all exciting. They're all extremely exciting to watch.
Yeah, we've not even got to see a playoff Zion yet.
No,
he's 2 years into his career. You've not even seen it. So next year,
I mean, he's breaking he's slacking compared to the others. In second year these days, they're making the playoffs.
This is what I mean, and there's so many young talent out there who haven't made the playoffs this year, but had the potential to make the playoffs. It's only going to get more and more interesting, and if let's say LeBron is on decline and the Lakers, for whatever reason, don't make the playoffs again. LeBron's first year, he didn't make the playoffs. If they miss out again and let's say Zion gets into it and the Pelicans, that's going to be a fantastic addition to the playoffs. I think, a matchup, if they get matched up against the Grizzlies or Utah or something like that, that's a fantastic watch, honestly. Yeah. It's something to look at and go, it's exciting.
Agreed.
You don't get the whole... the Lakers have got so-and-so in the first round, it's going to be a Lakers sweep, or you don't get this. You get, I'm going to probably, as a UK fan, wake my ass up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch this game.
Yes.
And I'll go to work on that Monday morning or Tuesday morning, and I'll give 50% because I know I'll go 100% watching the
NBA. Yeah, agreed. So we're calling it dunk.
I think we're going to call it dunk collectively.
Right. CP3 opting out of his $44 million player option in hopes that he can bag $100 million plus in a multi-year deal with somebody.
Go and get that bag.
Yeah, we'll call this a two-parter. For CP3, go get your money. Longevity. You want to be paid for as long as you possibly can. I mean, I think even L.A.UGH is still getting paid by the Lakers as it is right now. So, if CP3 can pull one of them off, then good luck to him. But for a team giving him a multi-year deal... I don't know. If it's more than 2 years, I'm going denied. He's not a physical player. He's not an athletic player. He never really has been. So he's been
picking up a few injuries recently in the last few years. So it's a risk. He missed a couple of games, or at least a game, or in some parts of games in that Lakers series. He's a risk. And I think you're right by calling this a two-parter. As a player, I think you've done enough to warrant an argument for a multi-year deal. I think you've shown enough to lead a team and teach a team and do what you need to do. As a team, I think you're foolish if you take that gamble and give him a multi-year.
More than 2 years, I think you could be in trouble. Now, as I was getting at, his body doesn't need to be as as much of his game as say a LeBron, because he is a floor general, and as long as he can control the floor, he doesn't need the physicality side of things. Obviously, he's got to get up and down the floor, but you know, he can control the floor like a floor general does, and that's his game. So he may get more than 2 years, but if I'm a GM, I'm not picking that up.
If I'm a GM, and I am going to look at picking up Chris Paul on a multi-year deal, and as you say, talking about more than 2 years, I'm doing that if I've got a young, promising point guard in my team who Chris Paul can add value to. I'm not looking at it as an investment of go and win me a championship. I'd be looking at it as an investment of, right, year 1 in your contract, do something for the team, make him gel.
Chris Paul.
Yeah. Year 2 and 3, now teach him what you did in year 1.
Yeah.
You know, take this guy under your ring. You're going to do less minutes. You will naturally do that anyway because your body's getting older and you're going to want to do less minutes. But teach my guys for the future how you do your business. And that's a worthwhile investment. And I think that's what a lot of these teams lack at the moment is that leadership in point guards. Like Ja Morant, for example, he hasn't got a veteran point guard around him that he can learn off of.
Oh, Mike Conley's there, isn't he? Oh, no, that's...
What, the Grizzlies?
No, sorry. Yeah, he's at the Jazz. My bad.
Check that.
I'll drop the French line. I'll edit that one out.
No, yeah, but that's what I mean. He was at the Grizzlies. He went to the Jazz because
that year, I think,
because they brought in Ja Morant.
Yeah,
and you know Mike Conley's services weren't seen as going to be needed as higher minutes or higher for usage as he needed to and wanted to be.
Yeah,
but Ja Morant now is learning off of coaching staffs. You know,
basically, yeah.
And he's not, when he's resting on that floor, he's not got anyone to look at and go, oh, great, now I can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or I'm learning from you.
Or if he's made a mistake, it's the coach is putting him wrong rather than somebody who's actually in the game.
And players, I know people say players listen to coaches. No, players listen to other players.
Yeah.
Players listen to players like Chris Paul, who have been there, done that, and well respected in the league.
Yeah.
You know, coaches are there to make the right plays and get the right strategic mindset in motion. But players, if they get told they've done something wrong by a veteran, they listen 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Unless they're probably Trae Young and a bit arrogant and, you know, will go back on the floor and drop that 3 from the logo anyway, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, and I think that's what people need to look at in this Chris Paul deal. But I think you're right. 2-parter from Chris Paul, if you can, you know, if you can, you know, lock
Get
it
the
down.
bag, man. Get the bag.
Dunked. If you're that team giving it and you haven't got that plan in place of a future, deny.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. All right then. So I had an Embiid discussion, but after watching this first game, I'm not sure if it was a lie or not. So Embiid's partially torn meniscus was considered day to day. Is that being downplayed? I would have said yes, because the torn meniscus is a big, big deal. If he tears it completely, he's gone. He's gone and he's not coming back till next season. But the way he's just played, I'm now wondering if they were making it out to be worse than it actually is.
He dropped 40 points. You don't do that if you've got a meniscus on the fringe.
This is what I'm saying.
We were saying this while we were watching the game, or I was saying this, and you were partially agreeing or nodding along, not really probably listening to what I was saying at the time because you're trying to get it set up. But if you're Embiid and you've got a meniscus tear or a meniscus that's on the brink of going at any moment, you are not stepping back with the amount of body weight that you have onto those knees, onto those legs. You know, you're probably playing a lot more conservative. You're not going out there looking to drop 40 points and drive to the basket every time and really stress your body. And I think it makes it believable because everyone knows that Embiid's body is fragile.
Yeah.
So if you go, oh, he's got a slight meniscus tear or he's got a risk at this, people will look at you and go, oh, you're not probably going to play 100% tonight then. But he came out there, he was physical, he was dominating. Yeah, and to be fair,
putting his body on everyone,
and being honest, that although they didn't get the win, they needed that.
Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse.
It was a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. You know, they need a real comeback because most of that game, as I was saying earlier, was down 20. Now, even when it's down 20 and you're in the third quarter, fourth quarter, you probably would normally sit there and go, if you've got a player with a torn meniscus or an injury, do you risk him when you're down 20 this long?
Yeah.
Or do you call it a day and go, right, we're on to the next
Let's
one?
get him rest, yeah, and see what the other boys can do.
Yeah, let's wrap him up. But no, he played 38 minutes on
a partially torn meniscus.
Partially torn meniscus, you know.
Dropping 40 points,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back to that one at a later time. We'll see if
we'll see what game
later
you have
on
to
in the
say.
series, whether something else comes out. I think maybe it was bull. Maybe it was bullshit.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Doc Rivers to turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to play a bit of mind games today. Throw it out there, see what he says.
Yeah, agreed. Now, I want to keep this one short and sweet because this could get very deep. But we'll come back to it when we hear a bit more information. Dunked or denied? Does Damian Lillard demand a trade?
I saw some interesting social media going out about this, actually. And there's a couple of tweets from Dame that would have come across that he's frustrated. But
which he has every right to be.
Which he has every right to be. You know, I think he said like enough is enough and stuff like this, you know. But I think it's a denied.
You don't think he demands a trade?
I don't think he demands a trade. And I'm thinking where, if he was going to demand a trade, where would you probably want to go to? Could you go to the Lakers?
He needs to be in a big market, yeah.
Could you go to the Lakers?
He needs to be, Lakers, Knicks,
New York,
Miami.
But then,
he needs to be in a much bigger market.
He's also one of these players you look at and you go, I cannot see you anywhere other than Portland.
Yeah, agreed. And if I'm Portland as well, there's 9 other guys in the league that I'm trading him for, and that's it. If I'm not getting one of them back, you're not getting rid of him.
If you're Dame, do you go, I want to be traded? Or do you go, I think we need to make some trades? I think we need to move bigger pieces and bring some stuff back. Well, do you look at it that way? Do you go, I want to stay loyal to Portland?
I think one or the other is happening. Either Dame's gone, or everybody else is.
There'll be a bit of a mix-up. I agree.
There has to be. There absolutely has to be. I'm going to go with a dunked on this. I think he demands a trade, and I think.
Do you
I don't think it's going to be public as people like James Harden. You know, I don't think he's going to hold out and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I think behind closed doors, he's going to say, I want to be moved. And from what I've been reading, people were taking calls. People have been taking calls on Dame trades early after Game 6 to see if they can make moves.
It'd be disappointing if he does, but you'd have to understand it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be disappointed. 4 out of the last 5 years, he's had a first-round exit. You know, you were saying in the previous podcast that they're always overlooked, and this is why now. 4 out of the last 5 years, first-round exits. You know, that's why they're overlooked, because they can't get over that hump.
If you went to the Knicks, you got to look at what you get back though. What could you get back from the Knicks?
Well, this is it.
There's
I
no
mean,
trade value
again, you know, as I said, if you're Portland, you want one of the top 10 players in the league coming back. But
oh yeah, you want a player
you're not getting the person that's going to take you where Dame's taking you.
No,
you're better off going for a young guy.
Do you go draft picks?
Yeah, you could do go the OKC route.
Yeah. Do you go rebuild and just go draft? Because there's a lot of good. If
you're getting rid of Dame, you haven't got a choice but to rebuild, really, have you?
Well, no. But
I'm going dunked. I think he does it.
I can see why you would. I'm going to go denied. I don't think he will, and time will tell. But
time definitely will tell. This off season will
huge.
Be huge.
Huge.
Something is gonna happen.
There's going to be quite a few shake-ups in the league, I think, this year. There's going to be shake-ups with the Lakers. There's going to be shake-ups in probably Portland. You're probably right. There will be shake-ups one way or another. There will be changes. I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, then. So let's whip through predictions for the round 2. So we've got Atlanta leading Philly by 1 game. What are you calling on that? Oh, you called it?
Yeah, I called it.
4-2. 6 games.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 4-1 Atlanta. Bucks and Nets. This is the big one.
It's going to go 7. And I'm going to take Bucks in 7.
Yeah. Okay. My heart wants Bucks, but I think in all reality, Brooklyn are taking it in 6.
I just think Bucks just weren't clicking or weren't dropping it. I think Bucks have the power and ability to beat Brooklyn. And I think they're probably one of the only teams that will have that ability.
Oh yeah, I agree there. I think if Brooklyn win this series, they've got the chip.
Yeah,
they've got the chip. All right, Denver and Phoenix.
Hey, well, what did you say? What do you reckon the series is?
Brooklyn in 6.
Brooklyn in 6.
Brooklyn in 6.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, we can bet on it if you want. I mean, what do you want to put up?
No, I'm just. Well, let's not make any more bets until bets get paid up.
Yeah. Paid up, because my tummy's still rumbling. That Nando's is yet to be delivered.
I had Nando's earlier. It was nice.
Yeah.
How you doing, Brench?
Give me a call. Yeah, Denver Phoenix. What do you think?
I'm gonna go. So look, logic would say Denver, due to MVP positioning, all this good stuff. But I'm going to go with my gut. And I'm going to say Phoenix, because they're going to be riding high off of that LA series. They really are. I think they're going to have confidence. And I think they've got the matchups. I really do think they've got good matchups. So I'm going to say Phoenix. And I'm going to say they're going to do it in 6.
I am going Phoenix in 7. Purely because Denver are incapable of having an uninteresting series.
And Ket will go to 7.
And they will go to 7, and because Denver are Denver, they will choke it. First round, they're not going to choke in the first round. Second round, they're going to choke.
Mate, Campazzo has got issues coming against Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Completely different ballgame.
And now obviously we're going to have to go on whoever wins tonight in the Mavs and Clippers, which we've already made predictions for. Utah versus
either two
Clippers. What do you think?
Versus Clippers?
Yeah.
Utah.
In
5.
I was going to say that. I agree there. So, yeah, Utah in 5 against Clippers. Against Mavs?
Now, that's a different story. I'd still say Utah. But I'd say in 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Mavs in 6.
Do you reckon? I think Utah are just too strong. Utah are a fantastic team at the moment. I know Mavs are good, and I know Luka's playing really well.
Yeah, Luka needs to keep up what he's been doing, and that's the only issue, isn't it?
But Donovan's got a chip on his shoulder right now.
Yeah, because he doesn't like where he is.
Well, there's that to it. But yeah, that team is playing phenomenally well for all the background noise that's going on at the moment. They're still handling business and doing what they need to do, and I think they will continue to do that. And if they go around, and this is sort of like a sweeping statement, I don't think it matters who they play in that next round. I think they're still winning, and I'm saying 6 because I think that, like the Bucks, that rust might set in for a couple of games. You know, game 1 definitely there might be a rust, and you might see Mavs take game 1. But I think overall Utah will be too strong for them. Definitely.
Okay, well there you have it. They are our picks for round 2. This has been a Flagrant Free podcast.
Let's know what you think, guys. Let's
get us on the socials at Flagrant Free, Instagram, Twitter. I think we've actually just set up a TikTok as well. That's not my end of the deal. Our man Adam's got that covered.
Shout out to Adam, by the way. Great on the social media content at the moment.
Yeah, so. killing the game. Get at us. Let us know what you think. Shoot some questions across.
Are we right? Are we wrong?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Get in on the discussions. This is what we want to hear. We want some feedback. There's no telling who's going to be with us next week. Might not even be me. Well, I've got to have a day off one time. You know what I mean? But it's been good. We've had fun. Hit the subscribe button. Give us a review if you like it. If you don't, jump on the socials. Tell us why.
Until next week.
Peace out, guys.